Hey there, this is Mark Joyner, and I'm about to blow your mind with some irrefutable proof that real men are optimists. Okay, how can I say real men are always optimists? I'm about to share some really interesting information from a little known U.S. Army program that was designed to turn kids off the street into super soldiers. How these guys got this information was is they went out and they looked at the most difficult programs in the military. For example, if you ever heard about what Navy SEALs have to go through, the most difficult part of the initial Navy SEAL BUDS training is something called Hell Week. Most people don't get through it, but they try to find out what were the common things that allowed the guys who did get through it to get through it. And you're going to be blown away at some of the stuff that they found. Now, before I lay that on you, I want to lay a little bit of logic on you on why optimism is better. Now, this comes from the late, great Robert Anton Wilson, a man who I'm proud to say was once a friend and mentor before he passed away. Probably one of the people who had the most profound impact on my life, one of the greatest thinkers of the 20th century. He was asked at the end of a seminar once why optimism was better than pessimism, and here's his really great answer. He says, well, it's pretty obvious on the face of it. One thing is longevity statistics. Optimists live longer. John Barefoot of Duke University has collected a lot of statistics on that. Optimistic people outlive pessimistic people consistently. If you compare them by sex, by age, by eating habits, by lifestyle, by race, by all sorts of things, the optimists live longer. Also, optimists have more fun. And besides, maybe things are going to turn out okay, in which case the pessimists are killing themselves and being miserable for no good reason at all. And the final reason is, even if everything is going to turn out terribly, the optimists are having more fun before the final tragedy comes, whereas the pessimists are living in misery all the time. I think that's pretty irrefutable if you ask me. I can't get around that logic. But there's a lot more to it. There are more good reasons. So remember that story I was telling you about the little-known U.S. Army research program? Well, we turned those findings into a little tiny three-step Simpleology ritual. Now, Simpleology Rituals is an app that you can put on your phone or on your desktop, wherever you want, and it will walk you through steps of any kind of a ritual that you like. So, for example, maybe there's some things that you want to do before you go to sleep. They're going to put you in the right frame of mind to get a good night's sleep, a very, very important thing to do. Or maybe it's something you want to do first thing in the morning to get your mind right for the day. Or maybe it's something that you want to say to yourself before you go and approach somebody that you're attracted to get your mind right for that, which is also very, very important. Anything that can be distilled down into the steps of a ritual can be loaded onto this app, and then you can just pull that up anytime you want, whatever the current situation is. And I use this all the time. I find it extremely useful. So let me read to you just the first step of the ritual called the Superhuman mental toughness ritual that we put together based on that information. So the pre-step goes like this. It says, this ritual is based on a little-known experimental U.S. Army program to turn kids off the street into super soldiers. Practice this ritual every morning to train your mind to push through any obstacle in your life. Here's step one. I think like an optimist. My mental toughness comes from thinking like an optimist. Any setbacks that I encounter today are temporary and changeable. I know that any problems will go away quickly. I know that they are just isolated situations and that I can do something about them. I am in control. I will never describe any failures I encounter as permanent, pervasive, or out of my control. Now, if you've studied the very, very interesting field of positive psychology, you'll know that everything that was just said there is totally in line with that. And now a lot of people hear about that stuff and they dismiss it. They go, well, that's just a bunch of that, that self-help claptrap. It doesn't really work. Well, I'm here to tell you, if the U.S. Army is putting the money into researching this and risking the lives of soldiers, kids off the street, with this kind of information, you can have a much higher degree of confidence about that. Those guys don't have time to waste time with stuff that doesn't work. Anyway, we've put this together as a ritual for you that you can add to your Simpleology account for free if you go to www.simpleology.com/superhuman. And the Rituals app is free, and this ritual is free, and your Simpleology membership is free. So you got no reason not to do that. Go to that URL and you'll find some other very, very cool things that we are going to give to you for free that will support you on your path to superhuman mental toughness.